Hi, it's Friday morning. This is Kelly Nash. We got some infotainment for you this morning to get you going. And look, I've been reading social media. MAGA, not in a good mood. Well, look, I'm gonna put some lipstick on that pig for you. Absolutely, we are, because it's nowhere near as bad as the doom and gloom crowd has been saying. And I think that perspective is important. And so we're going to give you some perspective. First and foremost, I understand that a lot of you have been very disappointed in how the whole Elon Musk thing ended. Look, Elon Musk only had a certain amount of time under the law to be there. That time is over. Elon Musk did not bail on Doge. I know that's being portrayed in the news that way, that he's so frustrated he just up and quit. No, that is not what happened. Elon Musk is still a supporter of Donald Trump. Absolutely. Does Elon Musk have maybe some conflicted feelings about the, quote, big, beautiful bill? Yeah, that's obvious. And as do a lot of people. That's not a slam. That is not like, oh, my gosh, mommy and daddy just got a divorce. No, they're trying to figure out where to go have dinner. Okay? Mommy and daddy haven't figured out, is it TGI Fridays or Applebee's? Although I doubt if either one of those two would ever go to TGI Fridays or Applebee's. Elon might. Anyway, but the actual things that are happening inside the country, the politics of the Trump administration are actually working. I know you're upset that the Doge cuts have not been codified yet. There's a lot of things. Look, it's only been a few months. It takes time. Nothing moves as fast as we want, and the left is going to fight back. Not only the left, the swamp. Okay, we'll just be honest. There's a whole level of bureaucracy that's fighting back. And like Mike Tyson says, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. You're getting punched in the mouth right now. What are you going to do now? Well, the good news is, like right behind me, right as I record this, right over my shoulder is a picture of Donald Trump with the blood on his face, his fist in the air, and he's yelling, "Fight, fight, fight." Donald Trump is not intimidated by these fights. He's not backing down in the least. And I bet you, for the most part, he's in a great mood. And we should be in a great mood, too. Because, look, I just want to bring you back to 2024. That's all the way back to 6 months ago. Who was the chief economist and economic advisor to the President of the United States? That's a pop quiz that I bet only about 5% of Americans, if that, could answer it. His name is Jared Bernstein. You've seen him on TV. He's a talking head. He's one of the adults who gets all the respect. When Jared Bernstein talks, it's like E.F. Hutton. Oh, Jared Bernstein said something. Okay, this is from a documentary that came out last year called Finding Money. Jared Bernstein, again, this is not a Saturday Night Live bit. This is his legitimate answer. Jared Bernstein, chief economist and economic advisor to President Joe Biden, you're telling us that it's actually impossible for the United States to go bankrupt.
The U.S. government can't go bankrupt because we can print our own money.
Why do we borrow our own currency in the first place?
Well, again, some of this stuff gets, some of the language some of the language and concepts are just confusing. I mean, the government definitely prints money.
Yes.
And it definitely lends that money. Which is why the government definitely prints money, and then it lends that money by selling bonds. Is that what they do?
Is that what they do?
Yes. They sell bonds.
Oh my God!
Sell bonds. I guess I can't really talk. I don't get it. I don't know what they're talking about.
Get it? Are you serious?
The government clearly prints money. It does it all the time.
We've said
and
that.
It clearly borrows. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this debt and deficit conversation. So I don't think there's anything confusing there.
Who is in a better mental state? Jared Bernstein or Joe Biden? Again, these are the two most powerful people when it comes to the economy. And maybe that explains why at one point in this country, during the Biden administration, we had double-digit inflation. That might be part of the reason. They have no flipping clue what they're doing. And yet they're treated like they walk in, it's like, oh my gosh, Jared Bernstein said something. We should all do what he says. Now, I know a lot of you think that Scott Bessent is the guy who replaced Jared Bernstein. That is not the case. That he's in the Treasury. The guy who actually is now the chief economist and economic advisor is a guy named Stephen Myron, and he was on with CNBC. And if you ever watch CNBC, Jim Cramer is completely out the closet. He used to try to be a middle-of-the-road kind of guy. Jim Cramer, far left loon, actually called for he wanted the military to enforce COVID shots. That's how crazy to the left Jim Cramer is. And he hates Donald Trump, and he hates all conservative economic policies. And then this is how he goes after Stephen Martin. But listen to Stephen's response.
We know that there is a bump in prices coming. Notice I did not call it a tax because I'm not going to get into politics with you. But there is a bump in prices. We all know that.
We all know
Won't that extend to the CPI just logically, empirically, and rigorously?
I think that it's important to understand that the cost of the tariffs is ultimately borne by countries that we're tariffing, and that's because we can reallocate our demand across borders, whereas countries that have factories sitting there, they can't move those factories. And so that means that the cost of the tariffs are borne by countries that we're tariffing. And so in the short run, can there be bumps? Can there be volatility? We saw the volatility in financial markets. That's absolutely the case. Can there be volatility in other prices too? Sure. But in the fullness of time, American consumers have the ability to shift their demand patterns across borders.
There's a nice, concise answer as to how things work. Thank you, Stephen, for giving us that answer. And thank you for restoring confidence that the people in the Trump administration actually understand how the economy works. And the vast, overwhelming majority of the talking heads that you see on television, the ones writing in the newspapers, they come from the Jared Bernstein school of, I don't know what the flip I'm talking about. That's the reality of the situation. So be of good cheer, my friends. We have the actual problem solvers in a place where they can solve the problems. It's taken a long time to get this crew together, and the swamp ain't going to drain itself, and it's certainly not going to go quietly into the night. But we are headed in the right direction. And if that doesn't get you in a good mood, I'll say it again. It's Friday!